We had this invitation from the Italian Parliament that we are honored to participate, to share the findings of this investigation we have done over the last year on Hind Rajab crime. We presented and viewed this investigation last month on Al Jazeera, and we were proud that we done this investigation after a long trip and also difficult obstacles and challenges. I want to mention that this investigation has started through our correspondent who has been killed by the Israeli occupation forces in Gaza. Our correspondent in Gaza, Ismail Al-Ghul, who was the first Palestinian journalist who covered the Hind Rajab story from day one. He was exclusively the first one. He reached the place of Hind Rajab crime after the Israeli occupation forces withdrew from Gaza. And from this brave coverage, we started our investigation based on the exclusive footage that he has done. We managed in this documentary to identify the names of the Israeli crew of the company. They were on the ground who are responsible of killing Hind Rajab, and we named this company, which is called Vampire Empire, and we named the head and the commander of this company, Israeli company, and also we named one of the Israeli soldiers who was on the ground in the Israeli tank in the scene of the killing of Hind Rajab. This story of Hind Rajab is an example of thousands of examples in Gaza during this genocide. Luckily, in Hind Rajab we heard her voice, but in other cases we didn't even hear voices, or even we didn't hear about what did happen with them. This will not be the only investigation about this story. You will see more investigations and more findings about what did happen in Gaza, because as I told you, we are not talking about one case or and a few cases. As we are following the situation in Gaza, yes, there is a ceasefire, but on the ground we are witnessing every day violations from the Israeli occupation forces. Since day one of this truce until now, we counted more than 300 Palestinian civilians have been killed by Israeli occupation forces. Crossings are still closed. Humanitarian aids have not been entered Gaza as it was being said in this agreement. And also as journalists, and this is always we from day one on this genocide, we said it should be the crossings open for all the journalists from all over the world to come to cover. You are a journalist and this is your right to go to this area to cover from there. Even after the agreement, after this ceasefire, we didn't witness any free access for any international journalist to get into Gaza to cover what is happening or the aftermath of this genocide. So the violations of the Israeli occupation forces of this ceasefire agreements, it's daily basis, and the people are, even the images, or as you mentioned, of the floods and the winter in this such difficult and tough weather gives a part of the image of the reality on the ground, and put all the international world in front of a test, and a not easy test of humanity, and answer the questions